Okay, now we are ready to move on to the flower portion. So we are going to be tracing and cutting out our flowers. You will have some color choices of paper. I'm going to choose to do mine in pink. If someone else at my table does white and there's a little bit of white left over, I can actually put that in the centers of my daisies. But you're just going to pick one color. If somebody wants to share their paper with you, maybe you could do some of another color if they share. It's totally up to you and your people at your table. Okay. Each table will have tracers. There will be tulip tracers. There should be one for everybody at your table, and there will be daisy tracers. Okay. If you put it right in the middle, are you going to have room to fit all 5 of your flowers? Probably not. So put it right over at the corner, as close to the corner as you can, and then trace your flowers. Now I don't want mine to be all daisies, so I'm going to do 2 daisies and I think 3 tulips, but you can choose whatever you want. You only need 5 flowers. So I'm going to do 2 of those, and actually, maybe I will get a friend to let me use a piece of their paper to make one of my tulips, or actually maybe 2 of my tulips. So if a friend, let's say my friend didn't use all of their paper and they said, yeah, you can use some of mine, and I could let them use some of my paper. We could trade, couldn't we? I could say, hey, you can do some of yours on pink and I'm going to do some of mine on white, right? I might do one of those and one of... Ooh, that's going to be a tight fit, isn't it? I could fit that this way. Man, I should have put that over a little bit more. I think what I'll do is I'm going to trace one side of this. I'm going to be a problem solver. And then I'm going to move it over just a little bit so I can trace the other side and it will fit. Yeah, that works. I can kind of just make it up, right? There we go. All right, and then you're going to cut those out. And I think it's easier to cut them apart before I cut them out. Remember, flowers are all different shapes, so if yours aren't perfect, that's okay. But this is good practice for cutting. And if you have a friend at your table that's not using all of their paper and you want to cut out a little dot for the center, so let's say this person didn't use this part of theirs, I could cut out a little circle, couldn't I? And put it right in the middle of my daisy, like that. Okay? Do I have to do that? No, but it kind of looks good to me, so I might do that on mine. And then maybe I'll save some of this white and use it in the center of my pink daisies, right? I could make, and if I want to make 2 centers, all I have to do is fold this in half, cut out 1 dot. Oops, 1 dot. Oh, it's getting smaller. and then I know I had 2 layers, so that'll be 2 for those, okay? When you're done cutting these out, glue them onto your stems, and then we're going to put all these in our table folder, but we want them to dry a little bit before we do. We don't want them stuck to each other, so get them glued on, let them sit there and dry for a few minutes, and then at the very end when it's cleanup time, we're going to put all of these into our table folders. Okay, looks like I have some more cutting to do here, don't I? Yep. Boys and girls, if you have extra paper, you can put that up on the front table and someone might need that, okay? That would be probably a nice thing to share with other people. If you don't need all your paper, just set it on the front table. Even some of these scraps, somebody could probably use those for the dots, right? So if you have scraps, just put those up on the front table for other people to share, okay? Don't throw them away because we might need them before we're done today. Okay, and then remember, we're going to let these dry for a few minutes before we put them in our table folder so that they don't get stuck to each other. You don't want everybody's getting stuck to everybody else's, right?